Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is November 4th. The off-season's getting underway. We got a bunch of options to discuss. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? It is Monday, start of the week and start of the MLB free agency here for the 2025 season. And it's been a busy 5 days here from the time the Dodgers picked up their World Series trophy to right now on Monday. And there's still some things waiting to happen specifically for today. We're going to dive on in and talk about all of that. But I wanted to get going, start talking about the things that have been happening, and then whatever remaining stuff that hasn't gotten the chance to happen just yet. We'll end up talking about it very briefly on the Friday. Of course, by then, if you're paying attention to baseball news, or at least some of the bigger offseason stuff that's going on, you might know some of those things that have already happened by the end of today that will be discussed on Monday. So with that all being said and done, I don't want to waste any time here because I feel like there is a lot to talk about today. So I want to dive right on in and start talking about some of the moves and things that have already happened, starting with some extensions. So a couple contracts were given out here. Starting off here quickly, we got the Royals, who sign Michael Walker to a longer-term deal than what he got last year in offseason with the Royals. He picks up now a 3-year deal with a club option for 2028. That means he's getting guaranteed $51 million. It's a 3-year, $50 million deal, and then if they want that club option, there's a value with that for the 2028 season, if not a $1 million buyout. But regardless, 3 years, $50 million going to Michael Walker after a sensational season to help bring the Royals back to the postseason for the first time since 2025. He was phenomenal, and they're going to end up keeping the rotation of Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Michael Walker as kind of a 1-2-3 triple header there. Excuse me, Brady Singer being that fourth guy on the outside, huge upside, but still struggling with some consistency there. The Braves extend a couple of their guys. Ronaldo Lopez had a phenomenal season, and he's going to get rewarded a 3-year, $30 million deal for him, $10 million each year. And then Aaron Bummer out of the bullpen, he's going to get a 2-year, $13 million deal. The lefty helped the Braves kind of late into the season, getting them through that struggled part of their schedule to get them into the playoffs, and he gets rewarded nicely with the contract there. And then the Reds are also extending, kind of just signing off a 1-year deal with Brent Suter, 1 year, $2.5 million for him to come out of the Reds bullpen in 2025. So those are the only 4 extensions to have happened to this point. So not really much else to mention on the extensions. So let's move into the few trades that occurred. Specifically, the big one here being that the Braves are trading outfielder/DH Jorge Soler to the Los Angeles Angels in exchange for Griffin Canning. Now, let's be honest, this happened kind of right out of the gates. You know, it was the first thing really to happen after the Dodgers won the World Series. Next day, boom, you're off to LA. The Braves are in a bit of a salary kind of heavy, offseason here. They've got a lot of money on the books already for 2025 and beyond that. Of course, we know how they've built their team up with getting some of their young players, long contracts into, 5, 10, years of deals here. And they've done a pretty good job of that. Right now, their biggest player on payroll is Austin Riley. He's getting $22 million, as well as Matt Olson, who's also getting paid $22 million, as well as Chris Sale getting $22 million there. So those 3 guys getting $22 million, but then guys like Ozuna, Iglesias, Acuna, Strider, Murphy, Lopez, Harris, Jimenez, and the list goes on and on. Albies at the bottom there with $7 million, as well as Arcia with $2 million. The payroll is huge right now for the Braves, and Jorge Soler was taking up another chunk of that payroll. So they definitely needed to lose it. This is one trade that I see the Braves, that they did make, and I can see them making more to try to shape off their budget a little bit. Right now, their payroll at the end of 2024 was $235 million. So with Reddy Soler, they've already shipped it down a little bit. Let's see how they kind of, shape up the team now. Of course, the Braves were still a playoff team and they were still a good team. But there is improvements to be made. Of course, they did deal with a lot of injuries, being Riley, Strider, and Acuna being the big kind of three that you remember not being around for those postseason, as well as Chris Sale at the end of it. So, the team will get better automatically just with injuries, guys coming back and healthy. But they still do need to make a move or two. And Jorge Soler, of course, had a huge 2021 with the Braves, helped them win the World Series in that year. He was the World Series MVP. He's a two-time World Series winner. Of course, some people forget that he was with the Cubs in 2016 when he was very young at the age of 24, winning his first World Series ring. He got his first and only All-Star nod in 2023 with Miami. Of course, after winning that World Series with the Braves, signed the deal with Miami. And that let him go into 2022 and 2023 before he headed to San Francisco for this season in 2024, where he put up some decent numbers, playing 93 games with the Giants, had 82 hits and 12 home runs, then got traded to the Braves, where he kind of picked it up again. In 49 games, he had 37 hits, 9 home runs, and an 849 OPS, so definitely improved getting on base when he was with the Braves. In total this season, having 119 hits in 493 at-bats with 21 home runs. So a bit of a drop-off from his 2023 with Miami, where he hit 36 home runs in less games even. He played 137 games in 2023, hitting that 36 number, while this year in 2024 played 142 games, 5 games more, but had 15 less home runs. So the age will start to show. He's going to be 33 next year. So let's see what he can do for the Angels, kind of help them out here. On the plus side, Braves are getting Griffin Canning in the deal. That's, not the most notable starting pitcher out there in the grand schemes of the game right now. But Griffin Canning, it can be a reliable guy there for the Braves. Good depth to have for sure as well. He's had 5 years all with the Angels, made his debut in 2019, did deal with the injury in 2022, so he did not play that year. So far in his 5-year career, he's 25-34, win-loss record, a 4.78 ERA. Last year had a bad year, definitely struggled heavily. 5.19 ERA, was healthy, was consistent for the Angels, which, for being the Angels, that's pretty good. 32 games, 31 starts made. Pitched 171 innings for the Angels, striking out 130 guys. So definitely some good numbers there, but he did give up 99 earned runs, 31 home runs. So heading over Atlanta to be some depth there, and hopefully they'll be able to keep his home run numbers low. And of course, that would keep his ERA and, his walks even low. He had walked 66 batters last year as well. Is a Gold Glove winner from 2020 in the COVID year, so he pitched well there. And some good defense there. So Gold Glove winner Griffin Canning heading over to the Braves in the deal. A couple other trades, but much smaller trades. The O's are trading for Daz Cameron from the Athletics for cash. Rockies trade for Owen Miller from the Brewers for cash. And the Angels are acquiring Scott Kingery from the Phillies for cash. So 3 guys here, young prospects, young players with some, who had high ceilings. Maybe a change of scenery will help figure things out. Daz last year in Oakland for the first time had an all right year, considering what he was coming off of. Did not play in 2023, was not there with Detroit. He had been there with Detroit from 2020 to 2022. But a 587 OPS for Cameron, so definitely some depth there from Baltimore, but potential to tap into some hidden stuff there from Daz, top prospect once with the Tigers. Owen Miller is definitely kind of the more notable name here, but his OPS and his numbers are not great offensively. He is a liability. Last year in 2024, only played 14 games with the Brewers, had a 407 OPS, had 5 hits, 3 RBIs, so small sample size, but in general, his defense is there, but his hitting isn't. So Rockies, will see if maybe playing at Coors will bring out the best for him. And the Angels are taking a chance on Scott Kingery. What is there to lose for the Angels here? Top prospect for the Phillies many moons ago, made his debut in 2018. 5 years with the Phillies. Hasn't played baseball really since 2021. He had one game in 2022, but I think it was coming in as like a defensive replacement or pinch runner situation. He had no at-bats. His last at-bat would have been in 2021. He played 15 games. He was 1 for 19 in those games. A lot of pinch hit opportunities. His most success coming from 2019, so before COVID. So let's see if the Angels can tap into anything there and, find some use for Kingery. No harm, no foul, to say the least there. So those are the kind of trades that have happened so far. Now we got to talk about all the options. That's kind of what this episode is mainly going to be about going forward here. A few things at the end of the agenda here, but I've, there's plenty of options that have been going on and have been accepted and declined. I've organized it, so we're going to go with players first. We'll go player opt-ins and then player opt-outs, followed by the club options, mutual options, and we'll continue from there. So, with that being said, player options. Player options who have opted in to their 2025 contracts. The first one, Lucas Giolito with the Red Sox. He accepts his player option, $19 million he'll be making for the 2025 season. Cody Bellinger accesses his option with the Cubs for 2025. That's going to be worth $27.5 million that the Cubs are paying for Bellinger. Hopefully he can have a phenomenal season, kind of find that MVP form that he had with the Dodgers in like 2018-19 era. Robbie Ray is saying for 2025 and 2026, he accepts his option there with the Giants. That's $25 million, I believe, for each year. So a healthy Robbie Ray is good for the Giants, but we haven't really seen that since his Cy Young winning season with the Blue Jays back in, I believe, 2021. Wandy Peralta accepts his option with the Padres, $4.25 million there. Wilmer Flores and the Giants. Wilmer Flores accesses his option, $3.5 million he'll be making. Emilio Pagan takes his option with the Reds for $8 million out of the bullpen. Rhys Hoskins, of course, taking his with the Brewers for $18 million. He's going to be a big bat there for the Brew Crew. Jordan Montgomery, of course, had an awful season, after kind of being a hero for the Rangers in their World Series win in 2023. He exercises his option big time with the Diamondbacks. Definitely need to do that. $22.5 million. He would not be making that kind of money if he was a free agent this year. And then Hunter Renfroe and Chris Stratton, both with the Royals, are exercising their options. Renfroe will be making $7.5 million, while Chris Stratton will be making $4.5. So basically, the player options, the guys who have opted in, are guys who think that they won't be able to make as much money as if they tried free agency now. Maybe they like their team, maybe they just want to have a good winning culture. But those are the guys who have decided to opt into their player options for 2025. Player opt-outs. These are the ones that I find a lot more interesting because it's basically you're saying that either I don't like the culture here or I think I can earn more money or a better contract than I did in my last free agent opportunity here. Mostly starting pitchers here, but there are a few interesting names to note. Sean Manaea opts out with the Mets. He is now a free agent. He was going to make $13.5 million, but has changed his mind and is now free agency. Nick Martinez opts out with the Reds. He was supposed to make $12 million, no longer the case. And then the big three here in my mind, Blake Snell opts out with the Giants. He was going to make $30 million this year. Of course, he didn't get the contract that he wanted to. The Scott Boras situation last year kind of messed up him, Matt Chapman, Jordan Montgomery, and a few other guys that he was under. He kind of dropped the ball. Blake Snell was not happy with the Giants, didn't want to sign that deal. $30 million is a lot of money to be walking away from, but I think he's going for more longevity rather than the money. So Blake Snell will look elsewhere. Nathan Eovaldi opts out with the Rangers. I find that one very surprising. He was going to make $20 million. Of course, he had kind of an injured season for 2024. But yeah, I'm not sure if he doesn't believe in the Rangers or if he thinks that $20 million is too small for what he is worth. And then the big one here that we're still waiting on to hear Garrett Cole has triggered his opt-out. Now, what makes his deal a little bit more interesting than the rest is that he is not a free agency yet. The Yankees would need to add a 1-year, $36 million deal at the end of the deal to keep him around. So right now, Garrett Cole is going to be making $36 million for 4 more years, but has opted out of that 4 years, $36 million each year, unless the Yankees make it 5 years, all at $36 million, in which case Cole would stay 5 more years with the Yankees, getting paid $36 million each year. The Yankees have yet decided if they're going to accept the opt-out or if they're going to pay him the 1-year $36 million to keep him. They have until 5 o'clock today. So as of right now, as of me speaking and looking at the clock, that's an hour and a half left to go. I'm going to be refreshing a tab here that I have for my, that I hear from my news at any point in the episode here, just to see, if it happens while I'm recording, and that will, be able to talk about it now and then, instead of having to talk about it on Friday. But if Garrett Cole hits the market with Soto, that would be very interesting for the Yankees, who are coming off their first World Series trip since 2009, of course, losing to the Dodgers. But we'll see here. I think the Yankees have to do it. I think they'd be dumb not to. But we'll see what ends up happening with Garrett Cole. All right, moving on now, we have our club options here. So we'll start with the ones that were accepted, and we'll start with the 2024 World Series champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They had 2 players that they accepted their team options for: Miguel Rojas for $5 million, and then Austin Barnes for $3.5 million. So both of them will be staying with the Dodgers for the 2025 season. The Brewers are accepting Freddie Peralta and his $8 million deal. That's a great deal, I think. Freddie Peralta, I find a really great pitcher, especially for the Brewers. So $8 million well spent there. The Diamondbacks are bringing back Merrill Kelly with their team option, $7 million for him, as well as Eugenio Suarez for $15 million. He had a great year, kind of a bounce back year after a bad year with the Mariners. Diamondbacks taking up Suarez's $15 million. It is a lot, but Suarez is worth it. The home run power is undeniably what the Diamondbacks are looking for there. I think this one was the easiest one. Yankees are accepting Luke Weaver, $2.5 million, for a guy who became their best closing pitcher, their best relief pitcher out of the pen. Took over the closing role for Clay Holmes in the season for $2.5 million. That's a steal and a half. The Yankees are happy with that one. The Rays are getting Brandon Lau back on a $10.5 million. They accept his option. The Braves accept the option for Marcelo Zuna for $16 million. He had a power stroking year, him and Ohtani did, in the DH for the NL side, so he gets brought back. The O's are bringing back Sinel Perez, Ryan O'Hearn, and Anthony Dominguez. So 3 guys coming back for the O's here. And then Rob Refsnyder with the Red Sox. Red Sox are saying yes to Snyder. Refsnyder, $2.1 million for him. Perez, $2.2. O'Hearn, $7.5. And then I don't remember seeing Anthony Dominguez, but I'm sure it is payroll well spent. Let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. Anthony Dominguez. Could not find it. Oh well. Oh, right here. $8 million option for Anthony Dominguez that the O's accept. Yeah, that was, poor. Anyways, club options that have opted out. So this is guys who the clubs decide that they're not worth the money, or for whatever reason they just don't want to bring back. These are the guys here. So the Cardinals will talk first. They did 3 on the same day. They said no to Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn, and Keenan Middleton. Gibson and Lynn were both set to earn $12 million, and Middleton was set to get $6 million. All 3 of these guys are headed to free agency. Maybe the easiest one, the White Sox are declining the $25 million team option for Yoan Moncada. Once great potential, top prospect, had a couple of great years for the White Sox. Recently, it's been bad years when he's healthy or just injured and not playing well, so very easy to decline it. Moncada will head to free agency, and is probably going to be the best, 10 take a chance on a guy option available this free agency. Yankees are declining Lou Trevino for $5 million, so he's out. The O's declined Eloy Jimenez, 18.5. Yeah, that's another easy one there. Lock it up, and he's going to go down with Yohan as a potential, buy low, reap the high rewards potentially. The Yankees are declining Anthony Rizzo for $11 million. Of course, some interest have kept up on Rizzo, and it's not surprising, but also a little surprising if that makes any sense. So the Yankees let go of Rizzo. The Mariners are declining Jorge Polanco for $12 million. Of course, they traded for him at the beginning of 2024, hoping he'd make that impact and make that kind of bounce back year, and just didn't have it. So for $12 million, they decided to pass on him. He hates the free agency. The White Sox are declining Max Stassi, $7.5 million. Of course, Corey Lee stepped up a little bit for the White Sox. So $7.5 for your backup catcher really doesn't seem too worth it. So Stassi will go. The Brewers are declining Devin Williams of a $10.6 million team option there. He is still with them, though, but he is now settled for arbitration. Of course, he signed the deal with the Brewers and was supposed to be making the 10.6, but they declined it because they think they can get him for less now with the arbitration process. So they're going to go through that. Obviously, Williams would be pretty unhappy about that, being a top closer in the game. The Braves are declining Travis d'Arnaud and Luke Jackson. D'Arnaud was set to make $8 million and Jackson $7 million, so both those guys will test free agency. The Mets declined Phil Maton, $7.75 million, and then kind of a surprising one here to round it off. The Brewers are declining Colin Ray, who had a good year. A consistent kind of like fourth option in that rotation. Was healthy and had good innings eaten, but the Brewers say no, only for $5.5 million. So he will get to chance free agency as well as all the other guys that were just mentioned. Next up here, and lastly, I guess, are the mutual opt-outs. The reason why there's no mutual opt-ins is because there was none, and those are obviously very hard to come by because you have to think that a team thinks a player is worth that much, and the player thinks they can't really get anything higher, and they like each other a lot. Very rarely do I find the mutual options kind of working out because obviously, unlike the player ops and the team ops, it only takes one party to, have a decision here. The mutual ops need to go both ways. So obviously sometimes teams will take it, but players won't, or vice versa. So very rare that these things kind of work out. But for the mutual opt-outs here, Randall Grichuk declined the mutual option with the Diamondbacks for $6 million, so he gets the buyout and heads to free agency. The Twins declined Manuel Margot and Kyle Farmer for their mutual ops. Margot was going to make $12 million, while Farmer was set for $6.25. The Brewers are declining Wade Miley for $12 million. Nationals declining Joey Gallo for $8 million. David Robertson declines his deal with the Rangers for $7 million, so he wants to test free agency there. Brewers are letting go of Gary Sanchez for $11 million. Ha-Seong Kim declines the Padres $8 million. He's going to make a lot more money, I think. Jock Peterson, he's done with the Diamondbacks. He declines his mutual there for $14 million, while the D-backs decline Scott McGrow for $4 million. The Cubs are denying Drew Smyly his $10 million, and Smyly is now back in free agency, as well as the Royals, who declined Adam Frazier, and $8.5 million was the deal there. So those are all the options and opt-outs that we have right now as of this time. On the Monday, those need to be done by today at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So as of recording this, actually, only one more hour left. Really the only kind of, big names I'm going to say that are left here. Of course, we have to wait for Garrett Cole with the Yankees. That's kind of the biggest thing here. And then the other three that are kind of notable names here, Clayton Kershaw, of course. I believe in the parade with the Dodgers, he said he would be taking the player option. There has been no official news of that, but is a $15 million play option, a guaranteed $10 million, and then a $5 million vesting for Kershaw. And then Pirates are waiting on Marco Gonzalez. They have a club option there, so if they want to pick up his $15 million or let him walk. And then Mitch Haniger has a player option with the Seattle Mariners for $15.5 million. I think Haniger would take that. I believe he's going to be a Mariner. I think that would happen. But I did see no official news on that yet. So those are kind of the four things we're still waiting to happen by 5 o'clock today, as well as any qualifying offers that need to be given out. Of course, we went over the qualifying offer money. I believe it was 21 point something million. I just saw news right here that the Reds are actually issuing their qualifying offer to Nick Martinez, who did opt out. So the qualifying offer, $21.05 million. The right-hander declined $12 million player option, so the Reds are going to qualifying offer him. So he has a chance to come back on $21.05, which I think he could do, actually. We'll see. Of course, most qualifying offers would be declined, but I expect guys like Juan Soto and Corbin Burns to get those offers. But all of that news will happen at some point in the next hour or so, and I'll probably be talking about all the qualifying offers on Friday's episode. So still waiting on those things to happen. Now let's talk about the couple waivers that I wanted to see kind of what happened here. A couple notable waivers that happened. Ty France, Luis Urias, and Kevin Biggio, all three of those guys cleared waivers. Ty France from the Reds, Luis Urias from the Mariners, and then Kevin Biggio from the Braves. So those three guys are all headed to free agency, kind of notable names there. And then Ryan Noda was placed on waivers from the A's, but he was actually claimed by the Angels. So Ryan Noda will be a Los Angeles Angels for next season. So now, with that being said, all of the options and things to have talked about here, let's go over the last couple of agenda things that I want to go over here, starting with the Gold Glove winners for the 2024 season. Those were announced over the weekend, and I have those for you here. So let's go over. Starting with the AL, catcher Cal Raleigh, his first Gold Glove. First baseman Carlos Santana, in his very many years of playing the game, he gets his first Gold Glove, so good for Carlos Santana. Second baseman Andres Jimenez from the Guardians, he gets his third Gold Glove. Alex Bregman, in what was a contract year for him, he gets a Gold Glove, his first at third. Bobby Witt Jr. gets his first Gold Glove in shortstop. Stephen Kwan out there in left field, his third Gold Glove for him. Dalton Varsho from the Blue Jays, center fielder, his first Gold Glove. And then in right field from the Red Sox, it's Wilyer Abreu getting his first as well. The pitcher is Seth Lugo. He gets his first. And then Dylan Moore for the utility position, he gets his first. So those are all of the Gold Glove winners from the AL, all of which first-time winners except for Jimenez and Kwan, both from the Guardians, both getting their third Gold Gloves. On the NL side, catcher Patrick Bailey from your Giants gets his first. Christian Walker, his third Gold Glove in his career. Bryce Terang out there in second for the Brewers. Matt Chapman with the Giants, he gets his fifth Gold Glove award. Ezekiel Tovar with the Rockies for shortstop, his first. Ian Happ out there in left field for the Cubs, his third Gold Glove. Brenton Doyle with the Rockies in center, his second Gold Glove. And then Sal Frelick in right field, his first. Chris Sale for pitcher, his first. A long career at the White Sox and Red Sox, and first year at the Braves, gets his first Gold Glove in the NL. And then Jared Triolo with the Pirates, he gets the utility Gold Glove there. So Walker, his third. Happ, his third. Chapman, 5. Doyle, 2. And the rest are first-time Gold Glove winners. Those are all the recipients of the Gold Glove Award for the 2024 season. So congratulations to all of those players. Next thing here, I mentioned last episode a couple of retirements with Daniel Hudson and options there. I forgot to mention Kevin Kiermaier, who also did retire, and want to spread some light into his career that he had. A lengthy career and a great one at that. 12 years in the big leagues, debuting in 2013 with the Tampa Bay Rays, and was a mainstay for the Rays. He finished an MVP voting one time in top 20 in 2015. He had 4 gold gloves in his career, one of which a platinum winner. He was with the Rays for a very long time, for 10 years, from 13 to 2022. In 2023, he signed with the Blue Jays and was with the Blue Jays from 2023 as well as half of 2024. The Jays then traded him to the Dodgers, where he won a World Series ring, and he ends it on top, just like Daniel Hudson did. So congratulations, Kiermaier, of course, known for his defensive highlights, and I think will go down as one of the best defensive outfielders in baseball history. I mean, the numbers will back it up. If you go through defensive analytics, really the only other center fielder that comes to mind defensively is Andrew Jones back in the days of the Braves, but I mean, Kiermaier can make like a half an hour to an hour highlight reel tape of all the fantastic catches he has made over his career, whether it be with the Rays, Jays, or Dodgers. Just outstanding stuff. The hitting numbers never really came around as great as it once, as it could have been. Never had a season where he had over 20 home runs. He finishes with a career 95 home runs, 5 short of 100 home runs, 378 RBIs, a career 246 average, and a 706 on base percentage. So great numbers for Kiermaier, and kind of a mainstay in the Rays, teams for over the years here, and will definitely be a player that is missed. So Kevin Kiermaier, enjoy your retirement. Congratulations on a well-deserved career, and tough to see a player like that leave. But last thing I kind of want to go over really quickly, just going over some of my picks for free agency, some top picks here, or at least top free agency, guys to note. We'll have a prediction episode. Maybe we'll do a couple predictions kind of going forward here. But I wanted to go over kind of the most notable names here, at least my most notable names out of the 15 guys here. So, number 1, the top free agent as of right now, of course, if Garrett Cole, if the Yankees decline him, Garrett Cole jumps to this list. Juan Soto, of course, he's going to get a fat paycheck. He's the player to watch. He's going to be the Ohtani of last year. He is going to get paid. After Soto, Blake Snell is my number 2 pick. Corbin Burns, number 3. Alex Bregman, number 4. And then Anthony Santander, number 5. Santander, you guys might think that's a little high, but he has put up consistently amazing power numbers for Baltimore. He gets on base. He's been a huge part of their postseason teams the last 2 years, helping them get to the postseason. And he's a switch hitter. So he checks off plenty of boxes. I think he's going to be essentially the best hitter after Soto. Bregman, you can make a case, defensively kind of backs up Bregman as well. I think off of hitting alone, Santander outclasses Bregman, but what Bregman can offer in speed and position-wise, and he's a Gold Glove winner. So I think that's why I put Bregman above Santander, but both great players. Continuing, Max Fried, number 6, Pete Alonso, number 7, Nathan Eovaldi, number 8, Jack Flaherty, number 9, and Teoscar Hernandez, number 10. Of course, Flaherty and Teoscar both, expressed their love for the Dodgers after their World Series wins, and would love to be with the Dodgers, but I think any team that can scoop these guys up, lucky to have either of them. Eovaldi and Fried are going to be great pitchers as well, and of course Pete Alonso, will he stay with the Mets, or where will he end up going? That's a big offseason question as well. And rounding off my top 15 here, Tanner Scott for the bullpen, Willy Adames, Hassan Kim, Christian Walker, and Sean Manaea. Manaea had a fantastic year with the Mets, so I think he's going to be making a lot of money for a team that needs a good lefty starter. Willy Adames and Hassan Kim, utility infielders here. I think Hassan Kim has a very high ceiling. I love the way he's been with the Padres. I think he could be an interesting market piece here. Of course, Willy Adames had a career year at the Brewers, power-wise and defensively-wise, so Willy Adames, definitely a name to note. Christian Walker, he's got plenty of power. He's a great defensive first baseman, got 3 Gold Gloves. Only thing that kind of stops him is the age a little bit, but I think he's going to be a key pickup for a special team as well. So those are my top 15 picks for free agency. Of course, that could change as, the offseason goes and, who will join the offseason. But for now, that's what I have. And that's all I have for us here today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining with me here today for this episode here, the first kind of one on free agency here. Going to do one last refresh of the news here, see if there's anything that came out as well. The Mets are going to issue a qualifying offer to Sean Manaea as well as Luis Severino, so both of those guys will get it. I have here Derek Fry to miss the start of 2025 season due to an elbow surgery, so we'll see how Derek Fry will kind of go off of that next episode as well. The Nick Martinez qualifying offer, so yeah, nothing yet on Garrett Cole or anything major. So yeah, we're going to end it here today. Thank you everybody so much, and I will see you on Friday.